Black women literally have the most connection to source, the most direct lineage to source, and we are the people who have inherited the power of source the most. Not to say other humans don't have it, they do, but Black women quite literally are the blueprint. Hello, and welcome back to Bri Speaks podcast. I am your lovely host, Bri Speaks, who created the 7 narcissistic social hierarchies of control. The 7 narcissistic social hierarchies of control are patriarchy, capitalism, corporatism, racism, ableism/ageism, speciesism, and Abrahamic religions. Those are the 7 pillars that control our minds. These are the programs they have placed into our brains since we were born, since we were children. These are the ways that we were taught to think and the ways that discredited our own thinking, that took us away from our own intuition of what we do, what is right and what is wrong, which brings us to today's episode of, it's really a follow-up to my ayahuasca journey, because when you go into ayahuasca, what they tell you is taking the medicine while you're there is like basically the tip of the iceberg. And then once you go out into the world, the medicine is still in you and is still working with you. And that has been the case for me. So I did my initial I just got back from my ayahuasca journey. Here's how I feel. And now that it's been probably a month since I've been there, I got more things to say. So while I was in there, I talked about, and I can tag, the videos somewhere, but while I was in there, I talked about how I experienced my spiritual body, take over my physical body. And then my physical mind went into the spirit world. But while my spirit body was taking over my physical, I experienced what I now know is being a spiritual medium. I was talking to my highest self. And so I thought when I was in there that was never going to happen to me again, especially without the medicine. But y'all, I was doing, a spiritual session with my little sister. We were just, channeling our ancestors. We've done this before. But now that my third eye was cleared out and my crown chakra was bust wide open, it happened again. It happened while I was home. I felt the spirits take over my body and me start talking and doing stuff that my mind was still there, but I knew it wasn't me who was saying the words. It wasn't my mind who was coming up with the thoughts. It wasn't my hands that were writing the things. And I was like, OMG, since they opened all of my chakras, it's all clear, all my energy is clear and flows through nice and neat. I can now do channeling now. I can do medium work. I was working through using my intuition, using my higher dimensions of self, my energetic body. I was already doing that before, which is a part of the reason why I wanted to go on this ayahuasca journey anyways, because I could feel myself getting there, but I felt like I needed a little bit of help to clear it out. And boy, oh boy, did it get cleared out. And so that is what today's episode is about, is what I'm realizing is I was already almost there. And now that I am here, I have the words and the vocabulary to describe exactly what's happened to me. And now that I know what's happened, I'm like, all Black women everywhere need to do the same thing. Okay. Because just activating your spiritual powers is a Black woman's birthright. All of these stupid indoctrinations, Abrahamic religions being the biggest and main one, in my personal opinion, all of them suck. All patriarchy, all of them suck. But that is the one that is keeping Black women from their powers is suppressing our powers, because this stupid book, it teaches you not to trust your heart, not to trust your intuition, not to trust what you feel. Don't go with your gut, go with the book. This man doesn't seem right, but he's a pastor or a man of the church. And then, he end up whipping you across the room later. Your intuition says don't take this deal. And then you end up getting scammed because you didn't listen to your intuition. All of these things that we feel now that I understand what they are and how to use them, I'm just y'all, we are being robbed. We are being robbed. We are being scammed. So what does it feel like to be a medium, or to have the spirits channeled through you? And that's another thing Abraham religions do, is they make you feel all of this stuff tarot readings is witchcraft, and astrology is witchcraft. And so of course, knowing that I know that everything that the Bible tells you is, everything that the Bible tells you is it's an inversion of the truth, or it's an inversion of the truth. So they literally says don't practice divination and astrology. So I was like, okay, let me go practice divination and astrology. It's like, don't do tarot readings. That makes you a witch. Okay, let me go figure out what tarot readings are. Which I don't know. I didn't feel very inclined to learn tarot. But my little sister, she's been into tarot for years now, and I just, not to say I thought she was one of the weirdos. It's like, hey, and as of right now, I totally get it. I totally understand. So I'm sorry for any tarot person I've ever had any bad thoughts about. My bad. And so, yeah. So I'm just get to the point. What I've learned is that those little feelings of intuition that you feel, that is your spirit, which we know that intuitively, but it's intuitively, right? We know that, but I need people to understand, once you unblock your crown chakra, once you open your third eye, all those feelings, they intensify times a million, and then you understand them completely. And the parallel that I came into my brain I'm a mom, whenever I got pregnant, I was like, oh my God, what are contractions going to feel like? I just couldn't conceptualize it because I had never been through it. But then once I started having contractions, I was like, these are just really, really, really intense period cramps, because it's the same muscle that is squeezing out your baby. That is the same muscle that's squeezing out your uterine lining every month. It's your uterine muscles. And so I found out that period cramps are just very small versions of labor contractions, but it's the same muscle. It's just very intense. That is the same exact feeling that I found with intuition. When you have those small, like moments of clarity, or those small, this doesn't feel right, or you have these small, tiny feelings that are easy to ignore because you just feel like, oh, I'm tripping, or you can just literally easily ignore it. But now that my crown chakra has been cleaned out and opened up, I now get those same feelings, but at a 100 times intense level. And so whenever I'm doing a tarot, my sister taught me how to do tarot readings, which are also connected to astrology. That's a whole nother video, but that's kind of how I got there, is because I was so into astrology. I realized that tarot is the same thing, and the same thing as numerology. They're all different, dimensions of the same universal readings. And I'm looking at, Egypt knows. And then here's the thing, the billionaires know, because numerology, like I said, it matches with astrology and it matches with tarot. They're all these are all things I just didn't know were connected, but now that I'm understanding all of them, they're all connected. And I know why the billionaires are doing the stuff that they're doing, and they're evil. Just know that because they know how to use the universal spirit laws, the laws of the spirit realm, and they know how to use them. And so they have been using them in our faces, and it is crazy. But again, that's also another video. But this video, I want to stick to the point of Black women need to drop religion, today, tomorrow, whatever, and then tap into their divine spirituality. And then I say that it is Black women's birthright specifically because we were the first manifestation of spirit on earth, right? When spirit said, I want to come down and be a human, I want to come down and experience self, in the beginning, there was nothing, and then God created Adam and Eve. It was Eve and Adam. All right. So we have all the scientific proof in the world that, and just the logical proof in the world, and the biological proof in the world, that women were the first people to walk this planet. And we know that Black women were the first people who walked this planet. And so we know that when spirit manifested and said, I want to experience life as a human being, the person that represents me the most was a Black woman. So Black women literally have the most connection to source, the most direct lineage to source, and we are the people who have inherited the power of source the most. Not to say other humans don't have it, they do, but Black women quite literally are the blueprint. The Henrietta Lacks, the Eve gene, we have the DNA that holds all the DNA for all the people across the world. That is, the DNA is inherently inside of us because we are the closest connection to source here on Mother God's green earth, literally. And so because of that, that is why Black women are so intuitive. We know stuff. We know stuff so much because we have this connection to source, but we block it off every single day by saying, no, I don't trust myself. I'm going to go read this Bible. I don't trust myself. I'm going to go confide in this man. I don't trust myself. I'm going to go ask the pastor of the church. I don't trust myself. I'm going to pray to this God. That the source is God and God is source. But the way that we pray is not right. It's not right. It's most of the time it's putting ourselves in this lowly position. And then your crown chakra is also going to be blocked when you don't love yourself, when you don't believe in yourself, when you have lower self-esteem. The more you love yourself, the more your intuition is strengthened, and the more you you're able to see more clearly. How can I communicate this message? Now, your intuition, y'all, if you tap into it the way you're supposed to, you start flexing it and working it as the muscle, that the literal muscle that it is your energetic body. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm this is how you're able to see into other universes, other dimensions. You see into other people's minds. You see other people's intentions. You can talk to animals. Here's my biggest thing, which I've been thinking about. If all Black women everywhere were able to literally awaken to their fullest potential, self-actualize, and you do that by doing whatever it is that you're afraid of doing. I was afraid to leave my marriage. I did it. Boom. I had this big awakening. My intuition went up 30%. And then I went to this ayahuasca journey, and went up another 45%. Like, it's just like, now I'm at this different level. And I still have to do some work to strengthen it. Honestly, I'm new here, but going from where I was, which I was a pretty highly intuitive person anyways, to where I am now, and knowing that there's still more to go, I'm just like, I couldn't be more excited, you guys. I could not be more excited. And I just want to encourage every woman everywhere, if I'm being honest, but Black women specifically. And I was saying, because if all Black women tapped into their true powers and we could literally talk telepathically the way that we are able to, I'm like, okay, and a good example, Black women or anyone, but Black women specifically, have you ever been thinking about somebody and then they called you, right? Y'all think that's a coincidence? It's not a coincidence. That is you guys' energy bodies in the spirit realm at a higher dimension, talking and connecting. And so that is why that person was called to call you, because you guys were already talking on a spiritual level, and then it manifested down into the physical. And so that happens now with me and my little sister all the time, which it happened before, but like now it's like literally I was like, I told my little sister her TV was loud, and I was like, okay, she turned it down. Didn't say anything to her, and she turned down her TV. It's just like we will talk to each other telepathically now because we can. And if all Black women across the globe tapped into their ability and powers to do that, do you guys know what we could do? Do you all know what we could accomplish? Do you know how we could organize? Do you know how we could understand and trust each other? Do you know how we could work together to rule and conquer and take over the world quite literally? I need y'all to understand how important this is. Like, I know if you're a Christian and you're watching this, that, they've programmed you to think that everything I'm saying is demonic. That is programming. That is, they're teaching you that exactly so you will not hone and tap into the powers that you have. I know that you feel like if you're a diehard Christian, you probably already clicked off of this video, but if you're still here, I beg of you to learn how to meditate, learn how to sit with yourself. First, you gotta clean out all your negative energy. I know that's going to be hard. Like, honestly, that's like a year-long process in and of itself. It's just to learn how to do introspection techniques, like sit and meditate, whatever pops to the top of your mind. Not meditate as in clear your mind of all thoughts, but yourself for even just 5 minutes a day, if that's what you want to do. And whatever is the first thing that pops to the top of your mind, sit with that and figure out why is that? Because whatever comes to the top of your mind is whatever you've been suppressing, but you haven't been able to address it, because every time it comes up, you go into your phone, you start consuming information. So, because your brain can't consume and put out information. Like, it can't think about information at the same time that it's consuming information. So people don't introspect on who they are and what they feel and what they want and their hopes and their dreams, because every time they have a moment of silence, they pull out their phone, they start scrolling on Instagram, or they get on the phone, start talking to someone, or they start texting someone, or they just do anything to distract themselves from their own thoughts. And I need all Black women everywhere to start just like a 5-minute a day practice if you want to, or 10 or 20. Like, once you start, I could sit there for hours, honestly hours, just sitting there, just thinking about my thoughts. Like, please, I need all Black women to it starts by thinking about your thoughts, thinking about so if something comes up, and if it's your relationship and your relationship making you unhappy, hey, think about, why is it making me unhappy? What is it that I want out of this relationship? How does this relationship make me feel? And start doing the work. Start doing it. If your job comes up and you hate your job, hey, I know I hate my job. What can I really do to get my job to make my job either less, like I hate it less, or get another job, or how can I, mitigate some of the impacts, whatever, my mom, she comes up, she gets on my nerves. Can I go no contact with a family member who is draining me? Or if I can't go no contact, what can I do to mitigate the remedies? You have to become aware of the things that are clouding your judgment, that are clouding your chakras, that are blocking you in any kind of way, and address them and get rid of them as best you can. Because that's step one to being able to trust your intuition is feeling aligned. If you feel like, you're a lesbian and you want to, hang out with the ladies, and someone's telling you can't do that, or you're not doing that because your family or whatever, you have to dive headfirst into being whoever it is you want to be. And that will be your first awakening. That'll be your first moment of clarity. That'll be your first oh my God, I'm stepping into my skin. I'm stepping into who I am. And then after you get to that point of you've cleared out all the bad people, all the people who are stressing you out, all the things that are stressing you out, and you can just be and love yourself for who you are and what you're doing. Then you start doing more introspection of okay, what else? What else do I want? And then so after you've cleared yourself, cleared out all your chakras of all bad and negative energy, then the next step would be become intentional about connecting with your higher self. And what that looks like, so I started with animal communication. That was my first what can my mind really do? I had my ex-husband at the time had a pet snake. And so I would sit down with that snake every day for like 10, 20, sometimes 30, 40, sometimes minutes or an hour. And I would just look at that snake in his eyeballs. And I just started trying to think to the snake. And I was like, hey, snake, can you hear me? Are you here? And then eventually I started getting words back. And I was just like, am I tripping? Because it did come in my voice. And then after a while, it really started coming in his voice. And his voice was like how do I explain it? Like a slow, grounded, kind of smooth. Like it was like I wouldn't call him a suave man, but like I don't know, but he had a voice. And then I tried with my sister's bearded dragon, and he had a voice. And then I tried with my friend's dog, and his voice, he had a weird old man smoker's voice. But yeah, and so I started trying to communicate with more and more animals. I was like, okay, so I can tap in to other energetic bodies at the energy dimension, because like there's the physical dimension, the 3D is the one we talk and hear out of, but our energy bodies can interact with any energy in the world, literally in the world, because it's energy. It can flow, it can move, it can expand, it can contract. It's literally our energy bodies are like air. It's just you can send it to anywhere you want to. And this is what they don't want you to know. Yeah. And so so another thing I started doing, I was just like, okay, let me try, remote viewing. Let me look through my sister's mind. I did that. And I can tag my video where I did that, like just live and in person. So you're just like, like what is it my sister is looking at right now? And then, you can ask permission to her energy, because like their physical bodies might not know what you're doing, but everyone has an energetic body. So you can ask their energetic body, their higher self, their soul, if you can interact with them, and you have to ask permission. That's something else I learned while I was during my ayahuasca journey, is when you're working with any energies, you have to just ask permission and like be intentional. It's all about intention. Like when I was taking the medicine, ayahuasca, I had to like essentially ask the ayahuasca, hello, ayahuasca, help me connect with my higher self. And then whenever I would drink the medicine, I would connect, like higher self was opened up and connected with me. Other people ask, help me, deal with my trauma, help me deal with my sadness, help me open up and be more vulnerable. Like whatever your intention was for coming there, you had to like speak it into the medicine, like out loud or just mentally. And that's how the medicine will work with you. She will work with you in the same way your energy body, your higher self, your spirit team will work with you based on your intention and what you want. So yeah, it is all about intentions. And if you are a Christian, I always because a Christian, the Bible, I always say, it has some truth. It has truth, but the truth has been kind of like flipped upside down or turned sideways or inverted. It's like all the best lives have some truth in there. And so I like the beginning of the Bible where it says, let there be light. And then it was good. And that's like God spoke and said, let there be light. That is the perfect example of setting an intention. Like God set the intention of, I want there to be light. And they said, I want there to be light. Let there be light. And it was good. And they believed in this entity, believed in bringing light into this dark space. And then it brought light. Like working with intention is the language of the universe. That is what I've been saying. Like the language of the universe is intention. It doesn't matter what you want. It matters what you intend. Like a good example is, it's like matching frequencies. Like the universe will resonate at whatever frequency you resonate at. And so even if you want to have a good life, if you're always saying, I'm unlucky, I'm crappy, I'm not talented, I'm not smart, I'm not pretty, like those are your intentions. Your intentions are if you say I am, you are. And so when you believe in yourself that you are these awful negative things, that is the life that you will experience. When you believe in yourself that you are amazing and beautiful and smart and talented and witty and funny and all those things, that is where you will resonate. Your intentions have to be like deeply rooted in your heart of hearts, and you have to believe that, and then the universe will literally will match your energy. And so if you say, I intend to clear out my chakras, the universe will work with you to clear out your chakras. And it's probably going to be hurtful. It's probably going to be hard, because the way the universe works is like you have to beat levels to awaken, to level up, to self-actualize. And beating those levels are hard. Like leaving my husband was one of the most difficult things I had ever done in my life to that date. And but me doing it because it aligned with my true self of who I was. I didn't want to be married. I had this big awakening and realization. It was so hurtful and painful and traumatic at first, but then stepping into being who I knew I wanted to be, I became the most light, free, happy being that I had ever been. Like one of my followers was just telling me, like they looked at my old videos and they look at my videos today from when I was married to when I'm now, and you can literally see that I'm a brighter person. And that is not just because I have better lighting, and I actually have a worse camera than when I was my camera, like my laptop I was using before. It was a better camera and it died, and this is a worse camera, but I still have my my spirit, you can see my spirit in my manifesting in my flesh. Like I'm just a brighter person now because I have more of my spirit energy is inside of me. It's mine. I'm not giving it away to relationships or to things that weren't serving me, things that weren't pouring into me. You can see when someone is happy and literally full of light. Your soul, but your energy body is the light inside of you. And you can see when people are full of light versus when they're dark and they're dim and like they look tired. They're just taking life day by day. They're not happy and excited and like full of energy to take on the world. Like that's because their spirit is being drained from some narcissistic entity. Narcissists like to drain energy. They're vampires. That's all they do. And narcissists on this channel are not like the people with narcissism NPD. This is a set of behaviors that can be applied to people, persons, or things like entities. Like the United States government is a vampiric, narcissistic, hierarchical entity that sucks the energy out of people. Your husband can be a narcissistic person who doesn't care about you and sucks your energy up. Your sister, your mom, your job, your manager, like it could be like literally it could be just anything can be narcissistic. It is not just like a person. It's a set of behaviors that puts things in hierarchies, rank order them. It says you're below, I'm above, I dominate you, I control you, you are beneath me, you are subordinate to me. Rather that could just look like I am your manager and it's like a formal hierarchy, or if it's an informal, I'm your pastor, and so you have to listen to me, and now I'm going to touch all over you, you 16-year-old girl. I'm just saying, whoever that was for, that's whoever that was for. But that person does not hold these people do not hold actual authority over you. It's fake. It's all made up. But they've put it in our minds that it's real and that we have to abide by it. By the very existence of those hierarchies, it is extracting our power. But the moment you wake up and say, I am the only authority over my life, I can do what I want, I have free will, and I am going to use the out of it, you start awakening into stepping into your true power, stepping into who you actually are, who you were always meant to be. And I just want that for all Black women everywhere, because if we do that as a collective, y'all, I literally have been having dreams about it, of just like, if all Black women everywhere open their third eyes, open their crown chakras, and tap into the powers that we have, those intuitive powers, we would take over the world. We have the strongest intuition in the world. And I don't know if I ever really finished my analogy of like period cramps are just really tiny contractions, and contractions are just really big period cramps. Like if people could understand that, like their intuition is just like, it's so small. It's so small. I didn't realize how small it was until I opened mine all the way up and it became so big. It's like, y'all, like I need all Black women to give up Christianity right now. I need them to give it up. Abrahamic religions, I need y'all to give that up. Being a Muslim, I need y'all to give it up. Just like, okay. Or if you want to just take it slow, you don't have to give it up, but like just practice meditation, practice introspection, practice clearing out anything negative or stressful in your life, and then practice going with your first mind always. And then slowly but surely, you're going to wake up. And then once you wake up, I will say the only negative part is because your third eye is open, you can see everything. Okay. And then also, when I say you can see, like all of your clairvoyances, like, so there's more than just clairvoyance, which I think clairvoyance is like, you just have that knowing. It's like that strong knowing. But then you can also, there's also like, these are not the scientific names, but I'm gonna give you like the layman's names that I kind of sort of made up. But there's like clear seeing, where like, there's this one time I was looking at my baby father's mom, who was a pick me evil wicked woman, and I'll never forget it. I was like looking at her, and then like her face just turned into like this devil, like demon shadow mask just went over her face, and I was just like, what the fudge was that? And then I blinked and it went away, and I was just like, am I crazy? Am I tripping? But like now that I understand what it was, that was me having clear seeing. When you see something that's not there, people will call you crazy, but it is your spirit body. That is your spirit body showing you their spirit. That is your spirit body showing you their spirit. There's clear hearing. People will say, oh, you're hearing voices, but no, that is your energy body giving you messages through some sort of voice. Like, so it's like, I heard the story of this woman who was in church, and she was like, she just had this overwhelming feeling in her body, like she just didn't want to be there. And then she was just like, I don't want to be here. And then she heard a voice that said, then leave. And then she turned and she said her husband was beside her, and she was like, what did you just say? He was like, I didn't say anything. And then she was just like, And then she left, and she said she never came back, and she's never felt better. So that she heard a voice that said, then leave. That was her spirit body. Like, like encoding a voice in your head. It was what comes to mind. It's like, I can't explain how energy bodies interact here they interact at a higher level, and I want to explain it at a 3D scientific level, but it's hard to put words to it. The only thing that comes to mind is like your energy body has a specific energetic signature or like a homing address, and so other energies can, which is why whenever you see like mediums, they're like always like they're calling people by name, and they're just like, or they have like something of that person. It's like your energy has a specific signature. So there's also clear smelling, and I knew that my baby father was thinking about me because I could smell him, like his scent like that. And I haven't been close to this man in years, but I just had this scent and it just smelled like him. And I was just like, what is that? What is that? And I just knew it was him. I knew he was thinking about me, and I had to put some intentions in the world to block his energy, and it went away. Same thing with my mom. When she's thinking about me, I'll smell cigarettes because she smokes. And then I'll have a knowing of like, oh, this is my mom. And then that is like, that's my mom's energetic signature. It's connected with cigarette smoke at this point. And there's also like, there's clear taste. You can just taste like random things. You're not eating, you're not doing nothing. You could just taste things. And it's just like, that's your energy. Like that's energy. Like you're tasting someone's energy and it's manifesting into a physical taste. And then there's also like your third eye clear seeing, where I can close my eyes and I'll see visions. I'll see pictures. I'll see shapes. I'll see lines, like literally like right here at my third eye. And so that's just like another way that your energy body will encode messages into your physical body and senses. And so if everyone would just realize that is a thing, like a real thing, like you're not crazy. Like this is what our ancestors have been doing for hundreds of thousands of years before white people showed up and said, no, you guys are doing witchcraft. Like this is what literally everyone in the global majority, like Native Americans, South American Native Americans, absolutely Africans, any shaman in the Asian world, China, they do this like, and I figured out, so this is a dragon's blood sage stick. And I figured out, why all of the old wise people used to do sage, because it cleanses the energies of a room. And whenever I do try to do connections or channeling from my ancestors or my higher self, without saging first, it's just harder. And so once you become familiar with how your intuition shows up for you most often, because usually you'll have a combination of all of them, but mine is like my most clear one, I think at this point, is my third eye. Like when I close my eyes and I just look into this part of my brain, whenever I have a question for my ancestors, it'll show up. Or if I'm trying to talk to an animal, it's just this for me, top notch, which makes sense because my strongest physical attribute is my mind. And so in my mouth. And so sometimes, when I will channel my ancestors, I can feel again, that intuition feeling times 100 for whenever I'm having one of my senses. But when I'm channeling, or whenever my ancestors are in the room and they just decide to I'll just take it from here. That is that intuition feeling all over my body times 1,000,000 probably. You just feel the intuition all over your body, but it's really your energetic body, your light body. You can just feel it. Having energy and using your own physical energy, it feels like one way, but when your spirit body takes over, it just feels like you feel so much lighter. You feel lighter, you have all this energy, but it's I don't know how to explain it. It's if you could lift your arm with no effort at all. If someone it's they literally will take over and just start doing stuff, and I'll start saying stuff that is not me saying it. It's someone else saying it. It's whomever is using me at that moment. They'll say it. And when you're in church, you'll say stuff like, oh, God used her. And so it's just all these concepts are there. And then I was talking to the pastor one time, and she's this lady, smart lady, wonderful lady. And she was she got messages, and that is from her higher self. But in Christianity, you just say, oh no, it's God, instead of saying it's me, my higher self, or it's my ancestor, or it's my spirit team. That makes the difference when your intention is, I don't have the power. This higher person has the power, and I have to wait for this higher person to give me a message, and I can't trust what the messages I already have. It's then your intention is, I don't have the power. And so you won't have the power. If you get rid of that thinking of, I don't have the power, God has the power. If you have the mentality of, I am God and God is inside of me, and I am a fraction of God, and everything that God has, I have. So everything that God can do, I can do. Then you will be able to do it. Then you will be the manifestation of God that you are. And I know, again, for Christians, that sounds like blasphemy, but that is because they trained you to think that's blasphemy, so that you won't connect to the God inside of you. God is inside of every one of us. Jesus said that, I feel several times in the Bible, that God is inside of everyone, but that parts get lost and overshadowed by the fact that Jesus is God and God is Jesus. Yeah, Jesus was God and God was Jesus, and I'm Jesus and I'm your Jesus, and I'm God, and you're God, and all of us are God all together. We're just a piece of God, that a different perspective of God, but when we all come together, when our energy bodies all come together, that is Christ consciousness. That is oneness. So we all have this spirit body that can connect to the consciousness at higher dimensions, if you will. But then we all have our physical body that shows up here that we can see, touch, feel, and smell and look at all day. But this is our temporary body. We all have an eternal body, an eternal energetic body, and then we also have a temporary physical body. Like everything is yin and yang. You can't experience eternity unless you experience temporary. You can't experience physical denseness unless you also experience dispersion and like lightness. So, and then, and I'm going to talk about this in a different video, but the CERN machine that they said they've turned on and turned off and is looping all around the world. Well, not all around the world, but like they're taking light particles and smashing them together. That is, they know for a wonder, and they're looking for, literally they say they're looking for the God particle, which is, they're looking for Black women. They tried with the Eve gene to figure out how can we create beings. And then they figured out that you can't create beings with just the physical aspect, because the Henrietta Lacks, the Eve, the mitochondrial Eve gene, that is a physical manifestation of us, of our spiritual essence, our spiritual, like they call it the God particles they're looking at, but that is the physical manifestation of the fact that we have every single piece of God inside of us, all of us, but again, just especially Black women. And so they're taking this machine and they're smashing light particles together, literally trying to figure out how the universe was created. But they know know that we are densified light energy. They know that humans are just densified light energy. There are studies that are coming out that says in a woman's womb, you can see light condensing in the mother's womb and then becoming that first cell, that first embryo, that first embryonic like representation. It's not just the physical cells replicating, it is energy condensing in the womb. They know that, and they're trying to now do that underground in a lab. But I'm telling you, that is the unnatural way to do it. And so they're literally trying to create souls. They're literally trying to create souls and energy bodies so they can create human beings from spirit first to the physical. If they do that, then they're being God, but in the weird narcissistic white way, instead of letting the universe do it, because they know that when the universe densifies and becomes the most spiritually and energetically controlled being, it's a Black woman. They know that. And so they're trying to do that themselves so that they can then literally control the world. And so if they are literally sitting sorry, y'all, so many thoughts, so many downloads. They're trying to hone and control the power that Black women have naturally, that we have energetically, intuitively, that like when we have all these Black women who are oracles, who can see into the future, who can predict the future, I will never forget, I was probably like 19 or 20. I was very young, and I went to a reader. And I asked her, because I still at this time cared, who am I going to get married to? And I asked her who I'm going to get married to. And she told me it was going to be a 6-foot Black man with locks, with dreadlocks. And I was just like, and at the time I was still with my baby father, who is a Hispanic man, no locks. And I was just like, are you sure it's not this guy? I literally showed her a picture. She's like, no. And then fast forward, many years later, I married my husband, who was a 6-foot tall man with dreadlocks. And mind you, I have totally forgot all about this, reading that I had got like probably at least 10 years before I got that reading. And I didn't remember it until I was like, till after he had proposed. So after he had proposed, and I was just like, and yeah, and we did get married, and it was wonderful. And, shout out to my husband. Sorry I had to leave him, but I had to stay true to myself. But yeah, so that is like, we can see into the future. We can read energies. We can look into different timelines and dimensions. We can do that naturally, but they don't want us to know that we can do it. They don't want us to learn that we can do it. And then they don't want us to come together and hone that power as a collective. Y'all, just imagine if every Black woman on earth tapped into her spirit powers and we all started talking to each other telepathically and organizing that way. We could overthrow every government on planet Earth. So I'm just like, we all need to. We already have the power. And when I say it is our birthright as Black women, as people who hold the mitochondrial Eve gene in our bodies, it is our job. We are the most spiritually connected people on earth. It is our job to protect the spirit realm, to be a part of the spirit realm. Like, it's like we all are, we all feel it. It's just we are covering it up with these religions. Black women are so spiritually inclined in our religions and so spiritually dedicated because we have so much spirit energy, but that spirit energy is being misdirected and misfired and misused in these religious hierarchical hierarchical institutions. And I'm just like, it's just as a person who just like awakened fully, I'm opening my eyes to how much potential is being suppressed and kept down, because that is exactly what they want. They don't want us to know that we can truly tap into our psychic powers and control and dominate the world. They don't want us to know that. So they're literally working on trying to figure out how to do it for themselves right now, while oppressing us so that we don't figure it out ourselves. And then try to teach us that everything that our ancestors used to do, our ancestors used to channel spirits all the time. And literally, that's what I was saying earlier, I had a vision before my channeling started, or while my channeling started, or like right around the channel, I did my first channeling while I was under the ayahuasca spirit of like an ancestor of mine, like sitting, like she was like sitting, my head down, and then but she was like talking like this, like she was saying real words, but you know, you could see like her body was not her body, like she was kind of, like, I wouldn't say dead, because that's a spooky word, but like she was like, and as someone now who that's happened to, I get it. It's just like your body is not your own whenever you allow the spirits to take over. And the whole thing is like, oh, that sounds so scary. But if you cleanse your energy, if you cleanse the space, if you have intentions to work with only spirits who mean you well, if you have intentions to dismiss any spirits that don't mean you well, you are protected. Every single woman on this planet, especially Black women, if you are standing here, you've got at least 4,000 ancestors who had to come together to make sure you exist. Like you got 2 grandparents, 4 great-grandparents, 8 great-great-grandparents, 16 great-great-great-grandparents, 32, 64, and so on and so forth. And so for at least 100 or 200,000 years, for Black women, that lineage is long and it is strong. So you have at least 4,000 ancestors going back, maybe 400, 500 generations. You got thousands of ancestors who are marching on your behalf. Like, but we are all, oh my God, dark energies might get you. So are you saying your ancestors are weak? Are you saying that your ancestors will not be able to protect you in the spirit realm if you go talk to them? No, they will. They've been protecting you. They've been walking with you this whole time. That is what I figured out. Like this tattoo that I got, you can't really see it, but it says, "Beyond fear lies freedom." And that I got that tattoo when I was 18 years old. I had no idea. It's just a knowing that came over me of like, that is how I feel. And it was after I left my narcissistic abusive ex and his narcissistic pick me mom. And I was so afraid to leave, because, when you're in an abusive relationship, they have control over your mind. They make you think that no one loves you, no one believes in you, you can't do anything without me, you'll be nothing without me. They make you think all these things. And so you're so afraid to leave. But I knew in my heart of hearts, this sucks. So I was just like, I have to go, even though I'm afraid. Even though I was afraid to leave, I did. And this was the first thing I did, was go get this tattoo, because after I got over my fear, that was the most freedom I had felt. I was living with them, and it was such a high control environment. Not all families, but most families are just little cults, and ones with narcissistic abuse leaders at the top is super high control. And so it was to the point where I couldn't like leave the house unless I was going to work or going to school. I had to, do laundry for everyone. I had to cook for everyone. I was like literally a live-in built-in maid for the entire family, not just my baby father and my child, but also his mother and his father. And then sometimes for the grandma as well. It's like they had me in there working. And I couldn't leave the house again unless it was for work or school. And they told me I didn't need friends. It was all kinds of crazy, weird stuff going on in my mind because of them. But when I finally was like, no, I can't take this anymore. And I left and I went to go live in a temporary shelter for women and children. My curfew was 10 o'clock. And I was like, oh my God, that is so much freedom. Like I had a curfew in a shelter, but I that was more freedom than I had living in the house with my baby father and his mother. And so that's how I felt. I was like, I finally got over that fear, and I had the most freedom that I had like in many years. And even though I wasn't a lot of freedom, it was so much freedom to me. And that's happened to me again and again and again. Every time I felt like, okay, I feel like I can't move. I feel trapped. I reached into my tattoo and I was like, I got to do this. And then I became free and I became happier. And so I was saying that this tattoo, I got it on my body, and it is me, but this came from my higher self. I can tell you that now that I've talked to her directly, like that was her. She was telling me, once you get over your fear, and this is what I'm telling y'all, you will be free. So if you are afraid to leave the church, if you're afraid to leave your husband, if you're afraid to stop helping your mom, if you're afraid to leave your job, like you have to believe that the universe will take care of you, because she will, especially if you are doing what is aligned in your heart and your soul and your mind, your body. Once your mind, your body, and your spirit are aligned, the universe will start giving you signs. Another way, okay? For those who don't believe me, there's a book by Dr. Tara Swart. All right. She is a neuroscientist from Oxford University, trained medical doctor and senior advisor from neuroscience and leadership at MIT Sloan School of Management. So this is a super smart doctor lady. If you don't want to believe me, she talks about learning about how to hone your intuition. Even she don't go far enough in my personal opinion, but if you're like on the fence and you want a way to like dip your toe into how do I hone my intuition and how do I look for signs from the universe, which the signs are from the universe are just signs from your energetic body. Your energetic body can manipulate like the spirits of little like animals and plants and even people. And so that those animals and plants and people will come to you and tell you what you need. So if you feel like I'm crazy and you're like, nah, Bri don't know what she's talking about, here's a book from someone that is not myself. Go read it. Have fun. And then I haven't listened to them yet, but my spirit has been telling me I need to go listen to the telepathy tapes, and that will help you better understand. And again, if it doesn't help you, I'm sorry, because I haven't listened to it myself, and I'm going to probably after this. But to my understanding, that'll help you understand how telepathy works. But I don't know how it explains it, but that it should help. That's what I've heard it was told. But I'm telling you, telepathy is just your energy body interacting and talking to other energy bodies at a higher dimension. And all a higher dimension is a less dense reality. Like we are, and I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. Humans are just densified light, but our energy bodies are the undensified version of ourselves. But it's a coin. It's yin and yang. There's a front and the back. The front is the densified masculine body that we can see. The masculine is the outward expression of anything. And our spirit body is the internal. It is the feminine body that we can't see. A man has an external projection. A woman has an internal version, right? And but a battery has a positive side, which has a projection, and a negative side that is flat. Our bodies has a positive side that is a projection, the part that you can see, touch, and feel, and an internal energy body that you cannot see, that you cannot touch, but you can feel it. It is. Okay, y'all. I really hope this message reaches all Black women everywhere, because I just need us to wake up. And it's important because that CERN machine, like I said, I'm going to make a whole video on it eventually, but they are turning it off until 2030. So from now until 2030, we have to tap in, wake up, and lock in, because they're making it bigger, faster, and stronger. And they will be even closer to creating spirit bodies themselves, literally creating souls. And if they do that, then they're trying to control the spirit realm. Like white men, they already got control of the physical. Like there's a picture I just saw, and it's just like, oh, it's the most gross picture ever, but it showed essentially the cult of the world. That's the cult of white men that own the world. And I'm gonna put it here, but it's like a total of like 50 white men that are literally running the entire planet. And they are in cahoots right now to trying to figure out now how can we take over the spirit realm. And I know that doesn't sound like a scary thing if someone, as people who, are very in the physical, but the spirit realm obviously is much more powerful, much more important, much more, it's much more than this 3D reality that we live in. So I personally, because I know that, and I know how strong my ancestors are and our ancestors are as Black people in general, which is why Black people can dance so well, which is why we're so creative, which is why we're so resilient, is because we are connected so intrinsically and so deeply to source, which is also why they keep trying to put us down. Like you're always asking, why is it that why they're always asking, oh, why are Black people so happy? It's because our joy is inherent. It comes from within. It comes from source. But then they're also asking, Black people are like, oh my God, they've had to create literally entire countries, entire systems, the justice system, entire capitalist system. For 400 years, they've created entire systems to push us down, to hold us down. And they still haven't been able to hold us down and keep us down the way that they want to. Imagine what we would be without them holding us down. Like the fact that they had to do all of that just to keep us down. What kind of power are they afraid of? I figured it out. The power that we hold, if we actually wake up and open our eyes and go within and find it, y'all, it's crazy. We would have all the animals on our side. We would be able to talk to each other without saying a word. And I've read stories about that, about in like enslavement camps or like plantations, and I want to say in Haiti mostly. Because Haiti, they weren't practicing Christianity. They were practicing ancient indigenous, like actual like voodoo or hoodoo, or like things that actually were like working with intentions and spell work, like all of that stuff. And I know the Bible says it's evil, but it's only evil if you do the evil stuff, which is the stuff that they are doing. They are doing the evil stuff. Don't be afraid of it. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, yes, you can do spells, but the English language is a spell anyway. That's another thing. I'm just like, the way that they even made our language. I heard this one and I'll never forget it. But bless you is be less you. Like they're telling you to be less of you. Whenever you tell someone to bless you, and I'm just like, so I've absolutely stopped saying bless you. I've started saying salud, which is good health, or gesundheit, which is good health. Like every other language has good health as their, like when you sneeze, because it's a manifestation of you expelling, bad energy. But in this America, they say, be less of you, be less of you. Isn't that crazy? Be less you. Or it's just like, I don't know, whatever. There's so many things like that where there are little words that they've put and they've attached to things. But when you actually break down the word itself or the etymology of the word, it is an evil thing that you're selling and you're saying and that you're attaching to yourself. Or like gospel. I just heard that one recently. God spell. That's just the spells of God. It's God spells. Like, and so when you're singing stuff like, I am not worthy, I am not good enough, I don't belong here, but I'm so grateful that you love me anyway, like shit, like weird shit like that, like you're telling like all that evil that you're putting a spell on your body that you are not worthy, you're not good enough, that you don't belong here, like all this stuff is nasty. It is evil stuff that you are putting into your soul, like baptisms, literally verbally saying, I give my life away. Oh my God, y'all. Like, y'all don't understand what y'all are saying when y'all are saying these things. And I'm just like, y'all, I know you're going to say Bri has lost it, but I've been to the spirit realm now and I'm tapped in, I'm connected, and y'all know I am not crazy. This world is crazy. This America, the way that they have set up everything is nasty and it's disgusting and it's gross and it's terrible. And I need us to cut it off. I need us to cut it off and let it go right now, today. And I know it's going to take a slow rollout for some of my beautiful Black women. And I get it, because just going from, diehard Christian today to I'm not a Christian tomorrow is sometimes very tough. But you gotta walk the walk. You gotta walk the walk and find the God inside of you. You will, I promise you with all of my heart and my soul, you will be so grateful you did it once you finally do. Okay. I do have a little treat. I have a treat. I made this up and I wanted to say it. This comes from my heart, and it is also like an FU to the American government. So right hand over my heart. I call this a pledge to Black women. Okay. I pledge allegiance to Black women from all across the diaspora, to our shared roots, one lineage deeply anchored to source. We carry the power of the blueprint. We are the first mothers. We reclaim our sovereignty, never again allowing it to fall into the hands of another. Under one sky, we honor our crowns and bodies in every texture, shade, and size, for there is no boundary, no distance, no space that can lessen the light of the paths we have made. With liberty, beauty, and strength untold, indivisible, magical, and forever one soul. Okay, I might need some work, but that's what I came up with, of like, I pledge allegiance from this day forward. I pledge allegiance to Black women all across the diaspora. No matter what your texture, your shade, where you come from, we are the first mothers. We are the first mothers to ever walk planet Earth. And just having that understanding and that realization is like, I do feel like it's our responsibilities to turn this boat around, and not in the way that they want us to, not using their systems, by using the power that literally God gave us. We have the power of source inside of us, and it's time for us to all wake up and use it. So I love you, Black woman. Everyone else, if you're here, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate your time, but I do have a mission to help Black women specifically right now. That is my calling. And so I love you, Black woman. I appreciate your time. Please come back and see me. Please go through my videos and start awakening yourself and breaking the chains of this narcissistic structures that have been keeping us down for far too long. It is time for us to wake up. Mother Earth is calling us, and we got to get going. All right. I love you. If you want to connect with me further, you can do so on TikTok at Bri Speaks. And if you would like to support, you can buy any of my items that you find on brispeaks.co. I have my favorite mug, which, oh my gosh, I didn't even make myself a cup of tea for this episode. Crazy. And I'm thinking about making a mug that says Black woman first, because I'm putting us first. I'm putting us first from here on out, because first of all, it's like, if we don't, then who will? Honestly, if we don't put Black women first, who will? I'll wait. All right. So Black women first. That mug coming soon. Boo, jump scare. This is future Bri here. I was able to create an entire Black woman first line. I spent a lot of time on it, and I am really excited to show you guys, because I think it's fabulous. It's like, honestly, it's per, because guess what? I would buy. Okay. Okay, this is my Black women first collection. It's not just apparel, it's a priority statement. Okay. Read it on your own time, but I got a journal, a notebook, then I choose the 92% on a mug. We've got a crop hoodie. So if you click into the full collection, so I put, okay, welcome to the Black Women First collection, a curated line of everyday essentials designed to celebrate, honor, and center Black women in every space. All right, so I've got some journals. So this is a hardback journal. I will use this for like journal entries, and then also have a soft cover, more like notebook. It has a perforated edge, so you can tear pages out of this one. I choose the 92%, and then on the other side it says Black Women First. Black Women First cropped hoodie, super cute. We've got t-shirts, we've got tanks, bigger hoodies, sweatshirts. Oh, I love it. And then, my videos and stuff. So that is my new Black Women First collection. And if you're here and you stop by, always feel free to pick up your 7 Narcissistic Social Hierarchies of Control mug if you want a mug that talks about, how you're going to break out the matrix, and you can talk to people about it over coffee. So just, FYI, if you guys haven't been on my website, and then these are my most recommended videos. These are the videos that I recommend for all people. If you're new to this channel and you haven't watched anything, these are my videos that I am like most proud of, and I recommend that you guys watch. Okay, that is all. So thank you. Please go get some Black Women First merch. I am personally obsessed. Yeah, enjoy. Bye. And yeah, so if you want to support, you can buy something from BriSpeaks.co, or you can donate to my Cash App at Bri Speaks 2. That is Bri Speaks, the number 2. Or you can join my members only. So my members only, I want to thank Aunt Cece for joining Woke, and then also When Xavier Speaks for joining Woke AF. So I appreciate all of you all for joining my members only. If you want to support, you can join there. There's Woke, which allows you to have access to all of my videos like these early, and then there's Woke AF. That'll get you all of my vlog series, which I am going to start. I'm going to start doing tarot readings in there because like I said, I've gotten into tarot and I know how to use my intuition now to understand what the ancestors are trying to tell me and what they're not trying to tell me. And once you figure out how to talk to your highest self, y'all, the world is your oyster. Here, let me see if I can pull a card for us right now for Black women. I'm about to pull a card. So this is, an example. Higher self, please, you are welcome into this space. All negative spirits who have ill intentions are not welcome. Please leave. And please, higher spirits, open my third eye and my crown chakra to help me receive this message for Black women clearly and concisely, please. I just want one card. And so that is my cleansing. And so I'm gonna just ask them for one card that I can interpret for this is pulling out at me. So this is the 8 of Pentacles, and I will ask, because I'm not perfect at this, I will ask Siri, what is the 9 of Pentacles? This is actually the 9.
The 9 of Pentacles is one of the most beautiful, grounding, and reassuring cards in the tarot deck. It is a card of self-made success, independent luxury, and finding absolute peace in your own energy. When this card appears, it's a reminder to step back, look around at what you've built, and actually allow yourself to enjoy it. Deconstructing the symbolism, the classic Rider-Waite-Smith image.
Okay. What I got is it is time for us to step back and look at all the gifts that God has given us and embrace those gifts. We are full of wealth. The wealth that we have is inside of us. All it takes is for us to just to step back, appreciate it, and then use it however we see fit. So something like that. All right. I'm working on it, but this is a good card. I know that it's full of abundance, it's full of love, and this is for all Black women. Black women, they are the ancestors are telling us to step into our wealth, and our wealth is our spirit. I didn't even pull this one, but right. The next card was the High Priestess. We are the High Priestess, y'all. And then I'm seeing this black column and this white column. The High Priestess, y'all, it's time for us to awaken to our powers and fight the good fight. That's all. All right. So thanks. Please support however you can. I love you, Black woman. The God in me loves the God in me loves the God in you. And please always remember, stay woke. I love you. Bye-bye.